education is a social activity. That we come to college to do it, whatever it is, and it has changed enormously as we go from decade to decade, but we do it with other people. And the purpose of Williams is, yes, it's to teach students, to give them information and skills, but it's to do it in an environment which is a social environment. And I think that if we think about every choice that we make is, are we supporting that? Education as a social activity. If everything we invest in is an investment in that, from tutorials, which create, investing in the faculty to create more tutorials so that students can have this two-on-one social experience, social learning experience, to the facilities that we create. If you've been in some of the buildings that were built in the last decade, the Scow Science Library, it's incredible the social activity that goes on there, educational social activity that's going on there. Students working alone with each other, students working in groups, students working in interdisciplinary ways. Students want to be there with books, which I think is a part of a social interaction that touches the past in a very interesting way. I had a friend from Johns Hopkins who is a poet who once said that students want to learn in the presence of the past. And I thought it was a very nice way of putting that. The New Hollander and Shapiro Halls, again, if you walk through those, if you haven't been back, and you ask what's special about those buildings, and they have marvelous architecture and glass, and they're sustainable, but look for all the spaces that people interact in those buildings. The faculty offices are large. They're large so you can teach a tutorial in there. There are large common spaces that are at the ends of halls that have beautiful views to bring students in and get them to work together. There are small nooks and crannies. And I think if we think about the architecture of a college, it's got to be full of spaces that are like magnetic, that bring students together to learn together. We're going to move forward as soon as the college is able to with the new Sawyer Library behind Stetson. When you look at the plans of that library, which have been developed in tandem with the plans for Hollander and Shapiro Halls, you'll find again that this library is all about student interaction and creating a kind of educational social hub for the humanities and the social sciences. So education is a social activity, and all of the internet and TV, and for those of you who were here for the panel before that, texting and Facebook and Twitter and all that newfangled stuff doesn't actually change that equation at all. The mediation, the way those interactions are mediated may change, but that doesn't change at all.